in rural Nebraska, a 74-year-old lady has just lost her husband 6 months ago. He was still working and she was on his employer plan. And now she has to decide what she's going to do with Medicare. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. What is she going to do? It's in the middle of the night. So she, as my mom does, she turns on the computer. She's looking at YouTube videos, little pandas running around, dogs, cats climbing trees, who knows? But because she's been searching for something to do with what do I do about Medicare, she stumbles across a video. She was overwhelmed, she was confused, and most of all, alone. Now, her mailbox was full of Medicare mailers. Her phone rings constantly all day long, but she thinks, I just can't trust these people that are chasing me. But she saw a video there, not a commercial, not a sales pitch, but just a guy sitting there in a blue shirt, sitting at his desk, talking about Medicare options. She watched for 9 minutes and 13 seconds. Then she clicked on the link in the description of that video. 2 days later, she became a client. All the while, I was at home asleep. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Who's awake at 2 o'clock in the morning? This is not automation. This is connection at scale. When I get done here today, some of you will have decided that this is not for me. You're not going to be on YouTube, and I totally respect that. I totally get it. Everyone that's at this level of success has already had, your business is going, it's thriving, it's doing well. So all I'm going to tell you is what worked for me. I'll also give you 4 different ways you can use video that have nothing at all to do with YouTube. At the very end of my talk today, I'll give you some resources that you can take away and use regardless of whether you make the decision to do YouTube, but you can use them in your practice. So our industry is just completely crowded. Everybody wants the senior market. They have so many options. If you've ever been in a house of a 65-year-old, they got tons and tons of mail. There's a growing distrust, though. I mean, if you've just seen the news lately, the Department of Justice, the lawsuits, the CMS now coming out with all these auditors. They're saying one more thing after another, and that is you just can't trust our industry. And then there are people quietly at their homes typing into the computer, what is the best Medicare plan for me? What's the best Medicare plan for 2025? What is Medicare? What is Medicare Advantage and all those things? So I'm just telling you that if you don't show up, somebody else will. You're competing with everybody out there looking for one thing. And let me just, at the outset, say, whatever you do, if you think that you want to be on YouTube or TikTok or Facebook, don't outsource this to someone else. My strongest message today is that it has to be your voice. It's the authenticity of who you are that really works. Otherwise, you're wasting your time, and I think you're wasting your money. I don't look at subscribers. Well, why did I put it on the screen then? I don't look at subscribers. What I look at is total views. Because somebody has a problem, they search for a solution, they find the answer, and they decide whether or not to work with us. That's great. 16.6 million people have seen something that I put out there, and that's really what I look for. My biggest thing, the biggest marker that I look for in looking at the analytics of the videos is how long are they watching? Because it's not only important to me, it's important to the YouTube algorithm. Algorithm means whose eyeballs are they going to get and put on your videos? And the biggest competition is how long can you keep them engaged? How long can you keep them on the platform? So just at the outset, I'm going to talk about YouTube for a minute, then I'll talk about video and other areas of your practice. So keeping them engaged is the most important thing. This is our crew back in Charleston, South Carolina. We have a small shop of 27 people. We're now a partner with SMS. We were acquired 3.5 years ago. But we just hit the milestone in our office of 20,000 clients. It's not a lot for some people, but for a small shop starting with just a single man like me and never paying $1 in marketing over the last 20 years, I thought this was a kind of a cool accomplishment. So you might be asking, isn't YouTube crowded? I mean, if you search for Medicare on YouTube, like I do every day, you might find there are a whole bunch of voices out there. Some of them look really, really good. Some of them can talk amazingly well, and it seems like they just do it all in one take. Is it crowded? No. What we found is all the different people on YouTube have a different style. They have a different background. They have a different personality. People that I work with, and I've worked with on their YouTube stuff over the years, Matthew Clausen, Keith Armbrett, Stephanie Apt, We're all different. We do it in different ways, and we all have our own different audience. Here's something that's recently changed on not only YouTube, but LinkedIn, TikTok, and everything else. You no longer need thousands of subscribers for your video to be viewed. It's an intent-based system that came out from TikTok. You'll see this mostly on the platform LinkedIn, where just a few weeks ago I did a post, and I'll show you how I do my post on LinkedIn. I kind of do it the easy way, and I'll show you the easy way. But it had 4,800 views on it in 2 weeks on LinkedIn, and that was like my first or second post on the platform, because it's the intent of the person searching for it that now matters more than anything else. So you might say, well, I don't have thousands of subscribers. You don't. You just have to have a message that people are looking for, and you could suddenly go from 0 to 800,000 views. Why do I like YouTube so much? People are telling me about all these other upcoming platforms. I like YouTube because it's long-form content. You can't have 394 videos with thousands of minutes of you just talking without revealing who you really are. If you're passionate about something, it's going to come out. If you have flaws, if you're ugly, if you have a big nose, it's going to come out thousands of times over and over again. But YouTube is the place that has the distinction of being owned by the #1 search engine in the world, that is Google. So when someone's searching for something on Google, they're going to, in most cases, get a video clip about that. And when they fall into, I call the honey trap of my videos on YouTube, they'll watch one, they're like, this guy's kind of interesting. He seems like he's a loudmouth, but he's kind of interesting. And let's watch another video, maybe another one. And then we find out, we get the new clients, and they say, you know, I found a video at 2 in the morning, then I kept watching another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. And the thing about YouTube that's very unique is if you're searching for a problem, you're searching for a question, the long-term question, that same video that answers that question is going to come up in search results 3 years later, 5 years later. We have people that say, hey, I found your video about Plan N. It's going to be a great plan coming out. That was a long time ago, but the video is still just as valuable and just as relevant now because of their platform. Some agents will say, yeah, but Facebook is where the seniors are. Just look at the demographic. And I'd say, yeah, you're right, they're on Facebook. But a recent trend in Facebook has taken the organic views, that is the natural view of somebody coming to see what you posted, from 16% of the audience down to 5.2. The impact is that small business will only be seen on Facebook now if you boost your posts, which there's a place for, and I'll get into that in just a minute, but Facebook for organic marketing is completely dead. So what is the strategy? I'll give you a big picture. Do a bunch of little videos on topics that you think will be of interest to your market. You can go to artificial intelligence, which some people are scared about. You can ask ChatGPT, what are the top 100 questions that seniors approaching Medicare are asking? It will know. And then you can make a video answering each one of those. But then you can find the top videos that are resonating with your audience, take the top video, and then put that on paid media. And by that I mean put it on your Facebook page for your business. And then you can boost that post to a geography of 15 miles around you, especially if you're locally based, and you will be surprised. So again, let YouTube do the research, go gather the audience based on the intent of that question and the video, and then promote that for your marketing, and you'll get a lot further. So in 2014, I got tired of answering the same questions at my desk with my headset over and over and over and over again. I don't know if anybody in here can relate. Let me explain the parts of Medicare. Let me explain Part A and Part B and all that stuff. And literally, I was losing my voice one year during AEP. For those that are not in Medicare space, it's the annual crazy period, and which has only gotten worse. And I sat down and I started making a video answering those questions. As we started growing an agency in Charleston, South Carolina, we had 1 employee, and then 2, and then 3, and then 5, and 7. And I thought, how can I make it easier for the people in the office to answer those questions that we're getting consistently all the time? So I made a video answering those questions, and we just made that as a tool. Here, we're going to send you a video, watch the video, and if you have any questions, get back with me. Or I'll follow up with you right after you watch the video. And that has the benefit of, this is the first thing, if you're not going to be a YouTuber, you can use. That video can be done one time the way you want it done, take out the bad words, the ums, the stutters, and all that, make one good video, and now you've got a tool that everybody in your team can use over and over again. And if you, as the agency principal, once you decide to scale, make that in your likeness and your own voice, you on camera, then you have the added benefit of everybody in your team benefiting from the branding of the agency owner. That is critically important. It will be consistent with whatever kind of marketing you're already doing. If you're doing direct mail, great. You're doing online ads, great. Whatever you're doing, have it all consistent, and then the questions for your team answered on the video. Save you a lot of time. What are the topics you cover? Well, anything about answering the questions about Medicare information. You can inspire people that they're not alone, because I'll tell you, I certainly feel alone. How many agents in here have other agents you can work with all the time and you can collaborate with and talk to all the time on a daily basis? You get to go to lunch with them and all that. I'm jealous of you because I don't. I work remotely and I have an office of people that work for the agency, but I don't have anybody to collaborate with on business topics and share experiences with and experiment with and say, hey, I had this happen. What did you have happen? So we're going to talk about an opportunity for that in just a minute. But inspire your crowd. The one I really like is problems and solutions and news topics. If you're not already subscribed to find out the latest and greatest news from everything that's in your industry, you really should. It's free. You can go to Google News, which is news.google.com, type in the name of every carrier that you work with and every carrier that's in the industry, and if you're in the Medicare space, CMS, HHS, and all that, and sign up for the free news alerts. By the way, how many people in here have a video on YouTube right now? Can you raise your hand? Wow, this is my crowd. I love it. So the news is something that they're looking forward to, and I have people tell me all the time, well, I saw a little something in the news, but I wanted to wait and see what your perspective of that was. So if you can build a tribe of people that want to see what your perspective of something that just broke in the news, you're doing something right. Two things are almost everything on YouTube, and I'll get to the other stuff in just a minute. The thumbnail is the most important thing ever. You may not have heard of this creator called Mr. Beast, but he's literally the top guy on all of YouTube. And he said, the thumbnail is the only most important thing of all. So let me show you what I've discovered on thumbnails that'll make your life so much easier. I'll tell you, when I started selling Medicare policies over the phone, it was in 2008, there were only a handful of people doing it. People told me, you can't sell Medicare stuff over the phone, are you crazy? They didn't even have an e-app. The Mutual came out with the best e-app there was, the first that I knew of, and it allowed us to just shift gears and do applications over the phone. It was breaking technology at the time. This is the breaking technology of our time. You can use artificial intelligence. Ooh, I said it again. I can come up with an idea. Let's say a building is imploding, and there are a bunch of seniors that were walking to that building, and now they don't know what in the world they're going to do. Make that as an image. 3 seconds later, I've got that image for free. I put it into a thumbnail. It's one of our highest performing videos. Here's another one. Seniors just got their bill and they're freaking out. It works. Here's another one. Oh my gosh, everything's falling apart, but there's an ambulance there. Somebody's there to save them. And who is it? It's the Senior Savings Network. All these took 3 seconds to generate. And it makes it so much easier. So what e-apps were to selling over the phone, artificial intelligence now is for making online content. I'll only give you 20 more examples here. But so these are some of the thumbnails that really, really worked. And now we've got this. We've got a tool called TubeBuddy, which I really love. And if you're thinking of 2 different ideas, for instance, this top video there, I wanted to test, is my ugly face enough to stop the scroll, or would Joe Biden's face be more impactful to stop the scroll? So TubeBuddy allows you to do a split test. I'll upload this version, I'll upload that version, and it will statistically significant way run this much traffic to this one, this much traffic to that one, based on the views that come in, and then give you a result at the end. And I can see that the variation is, let's see, what was that, 44% higher for the Joe Biden image. So obviously, and the tool will do this automatically, it'll go to the thumbnail that works the best. And again, the thumbnail is most important. And the different one down there, 16% lift. But if you're talking of potential millions of people that are seeing it, then you have a 5, 6, 7% click-through rate, which means they see it and they go to do the action, which is watch the video. That's pretty important. I'm going to give you some resources today. If you want to make some notes, that's great. If not, I've got all the resources at the very end. But you can find TubeBuddy at webinarwithchris.com/buddy. But I'll get you more in a minute. How do you make the thumbnails? There are so many tools out there, and most of them are free. And if you're getting artificial intelligence to make the image for you, then you just simply download that image. Again, you can do that for free, and then just pop it into any graphic program. It doesn't matter. Then the second most important thing, if you want to be found on YouTube, is the hook, the first 3 seconds. I'll tell you what most agents do that I see break into YouTube. They say, "Hi, I'm Christopher Westfall. I'm a Medicare agent, and I live in Rogers, Arkansas. I help seniors. So if I can help you, give me a call. Thank you." Or, and that won't get any views, I'm sorry. Or they'll say, "Hi, in today's video, we're going to talk about what you need to know about Medicare. We'll be right back." And then they play this 30-second bumper with beautiful music and their logo just going all around and all around. And the audience is completely gone. The hook is where you tell them what you're going to tell them. And it's like, visually, just imagine you're reaching through the monitor or their TV, grabbing them by the throat and saying, "Sit down, I've got something you have to watch right now." The hook is absolutely everything, because you can't get to an 8-minute average view duration on your video without getting them first past the first 30 seconds. So think in your mind, what can I say in the first 6 seconds that's going to grab this audience? Here's some examples. If you're turning 65 soon and feel completely overwhelmed by your Medicare choices, you're not alone. You're in the right place today. The second added thing to that is if you say, "And if you stick around to the end of this video, I'm going to give you a resource that breaks this down for you and makes it so easy." You don't have to take pictures of the slides. I'll give them to you at the very end. But you can. You go right in. Another one. Before you make a decision about your Medicare coverage, watch this. It could save you thousands of dollars and spare you a major headache down the road. Well, who could listen to that and say, "Nah, not for me"? You got to really grab them. No one told my mom the truth about Medicare until it was too late. Let's make sure that doesn't happen to you. If you're curious about whether a hook will work or not, I don't want to sound like a commercial, but I'm telling you, it's so much easier now. Tell ChatGPT or Grok or Gemini or any of the ones that you like, "Here's the topic I want to cover today. Give me some hooks that I can consider using," and it'll do it. The biggest question that people ask me is, well, how long should my YouTube video be? Well, that depends. It shouldn't be super short. Why? Because again, the algorithm's biggest draw to your channel will be the length of time you keep them on their platform, preferably the length of time you keep them on that particular video. So you want it to be long enough that you can educate them thoroughly, but not bore them to tears. So if you're going to make a 2-minute video covering this topic, but I made a 20-minute video covering that topic, you can't compete with me on an 8-minute average view duration because your cap is 2 minutes. Does that make sense? So I would not recommend short videos. They can't get to know you in that time. And I'm not talking about tap dancing and just winging it and just making stuff up. You have to do the work to make them want to stick around. Make a promise that they're going to get something at the end and keep them fully engaged. We can go into that at length later. Let me give you an example of this. Dwayne was talking earlier about all the changes happening with Medicare, and I thought for me, we've always heard of the silver tsunami, this big wave of all the seniors coming into the Medicare age. What about a big wave that's all these changes and it's crashing over us, the agents, and the seniors? So I put that idea into the AI, and it gave me that image right away. Another little tip, if you put your face, even if it's ugly, on a thumbnail, people are going to watch it. I don't know why, it just works. So this video came out, and right away it got 52,000 views, but here's a message that I was copied on between our office manager and someone at Senior Market Sales. Chris's video had 45,000 views. The office is busy, and we've written 150 applications in the last 5 days attributed to that one video. So is it worth doing? Guess how much that video cost to produce? Nothing, about 20 minutes worth of work. And I'm not making any flashy things on the video. I'm sitting there literally at my desk and talking into a camera. And if you've never watched one, I encourage you just to watch. Don't copy word for word what anybody puts out there, because people will see that as inauthentic, especially if you're reading off of a script, but make it your own voice, but get inspiration. And then let's talk about some other things that you can use. If you've made a video and you put it out there on YouTube, what else can you do with it? Turns out, a lot. You can chop it up and put it into shorts. I'm not a big fan because right now it still affects the overall length of time, view duration on your channel, but some people do. One strategy I've heard recently is to make a separate channel only for shorts, and that could compete in its own world. But so many people in the search engine optimization world, SEO world, have always been a big fan of the written word, writing blogs. And for you, you might say, and I'll tell you you're wrong right away, but you could say that I can't do video. I'm not good on video. Well, listen, I have a face for radio. I know it better than anybody else. Video is not my medium. However, for some reason, it just worked. So what if you're going to be writing all your articles, but you could just sit down and talk like you're talking to a friend, like you're talking to somebody that you care about, that you don't want them to be given the wrong information by a charlatan or a bad agent, and you believe it's your job to tell them the truth about whatever topic it is. Then you take that video and you turn it into an article. Oh great, so I have to retype everything that I just did? No, here's how it gets so much easier. First, I mentioned LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great way to get a lot of traction. Both in the search engine optimization world, it'll find it, but also people that are retiring. They're thinking about retirement. They're past retirement age. They're thinking about coming onto Medicare or not. They're business owners. They're buying life insurance. They're buying all kinds of things, because these are the people that are in the know, and they're middle to upper class. They're on LinkedIn. So what I do is I make these pretty little posts on LinkedIn, but did I do the work? No. Here's the easy way. I'll make a video talking about the topic. Then I'll take that video, upload it to YouTube, and YouTube for free will give you the transcript of your own video. So cool, it takes about 5 minutes. Then I'll get that transcript, copy it, go over to artificial intelligence and paste it in there. Copy, paste. Isn't that cool? Then for that video on YouTube, this is a big tip, it can give me a compelling description, the title for the video that'll get somebody to watch it, the tags to put in there so it can be found easier, and helps me post on specific platforms, because the worst thing you can possibly do is take one thing and put that one thing in the same format across all platforms. Every platform is independent and specifically unique to that platform. And if you try to do the cookie cutter thing and do the same thing everywhere, it just won't resonate. So you need to make a LinkedIn post that looks like a compelling LinkedIn post. And here's what it did with that last one. It made this cool thing with these bullet points, all the things that you need to know, and it grabs people's attention. And here's how I did it. Write a description for the video for a LinkedIn post. Now that's captivating, y'all. You gotta write that down. That is just intriguing as heck. Write a description for the video for a LinkedIn post. Those 8 words makes all your content specific for each unique platform, and it's so easy. And it looks great, and it's specific for what that platform is looking for, and it's always updated. Again, that's free. Now, here's another one. This is the best one. So let's say you're a fan of the written word. You want to write long-form blog posts. And back in the day, this was everything for Google. It still is important. If you're covering things in a unique way, in an authentic way that's not just jargon that you found with artificial intelligence making junk for you and spewing it out there, because yes, they can tell the difference. If you make something compelling, like this article looks really cool, and it's in the format that Google wants to be found as an article. It has table of contents on there, and if you click on that table of contents, it'll zip down to the part of the article that talks about that specific topic. And it'll have the embedded YouTube video at the top, so if the person prefers to watch video, great, but they're finding this on your website. And this is not about video, really. It's the content that was in the video. So it has what they call H1 tags, which are those paragraphs up there. What's the point of the paragraph? It tells you real big. So to the Google search engine, they're saying this is an important topic because it's got this special big type on there. That's all H1 means. And with this tool that I'm going to give you, it will take that video, turn it into a post for your website. You can make a 2,500 word post that is written perfectly well, but you don't have to write it. And it'll make images in there from your video. It'll take parts of your video, put it in there where it's relevant, make the paragraphs for you, make the table of contents for you, make, what do you call them, emoticons? Yeah, emojis and all that stuff for you. And then you can take that same video right there on their site and publish it to WordPress.com if you have a free account there, which is free, WordPress.org, Medium, which is free, Blogger, which is free. All these different things, you can have it posted and share your content in the written word where people are more likely to find it. And these are some of the things that look really cool, all from me just talking in a video and putting the video into this tool. If you want to see what this tool is, it's called Video to Blog. You can see it here, webinarwithchris.com/blog, and this saves so much time. Here's a little tip. If you just do it in the default way, artificial intelligence writes it in the way artificial intelligence would. So little tip just for this room, don't tell anybody. Right before you publish it, go on the top right-hand side where it says Advance and click on Humanize. And what that will do is it will take the entire article and it'll tell you what the score is now. Do we believe this is written by artificial intelligence? 99.9%? Yes, it is. And Google will discover the same thing. You don't want that. So you go to the tool and you say Humanize, which it won't do unless you go under Advance. And then it'll rewrite the article. You run it through the AI detector again, which is all in the same place, and it'll say 0% chance this was written by AI. This was written by a human, and that's what you want. Is that helpful? If you're thinking, I need to write articles for my website. No, you don't. Sit and talk to a microphone or sit and talk to a video and have this tool do it for you. Now here's a problem that we get and everybody else that's a content marketer that brings in business, they'll get, and I just want to be upfront and let you know to expect it. That is, if you do a video, one thing that's going to happen is you're going to have people from across the country say, I want to be your client. A lot of agents will say, no, you're in Nebraska, I'm in Florida, that's okay. They'll go in an insurance form and say, does anybody have a license in Nebraska? I've got all these clients that want to be clients of mine. They're leads. They like me. They trust me. They want to be my client for life, but I don't want their money. I don't want their business. I don't want to help these people. So anybody got a license in Nebraska, you can have this client. I'm like, what are you doing? So when I started doing these YouTube videos, I started getting people from different states. And I would see that as an opportunity to invest in my business and say, let me get a license in your state and I can show you everything that's there. You only have to do that one time. Once you've got the license now, you've opened up a new territory for you. I'm a big fan of when you're naming your agency, I know it's a little late for this crowd, but if you're naming your agency, to not say your specific name, because it makes it less likely to be acquired later, but also a specific geography, because you're limiting yourself. If you say Northwest Arkansas Medicare plans, guess what you're limited to in their mind? Oh, they can't help me. If you make it something that could be ubiquitous, it could be any state, it could be any location somewhere. Now you've prepared your agency to be able to grow organically. And if you're going to put something out there, expect there will be a reaping of that harvest. You're going to have people from all over that want to be your clients. Let them be your client. Invest in the license, for goodness sakes, and help these people. So then you're going to get a lot of people. Another warning, you're going to get people who comment. They'll say good things, mostly. Let them stay. They'll say negative things about how ugly you are and how big your nose is, and you talk too fast. And yes, all those things are true, but I delete those. So you can let the ones stay that you want, and this is called social proof. Again, you've got this 74-year-old lady that's sitting at home wondering, who can I trust? She's going to look at what other people think. And when she sees things like this, you're right. I'm so glad I found your channel. He's telling the truth. I went through them. They're great. Thank God for Chris. He's telling the truth. Let that stuff stay. Okay, that's all I have to say about YouTube. Now, for the people who decided you don't want to do YouTube, and by the way, if you want to get together after today, I'm going to give you an opportunity where we can get deep into this stuff and go for about 2 or 3 hours, literally. I'm not kidding this time. And really go in depth. How many people in this room, by the way, wake up, I'm going to ask a question. How many people in this room were here 2 years ago when we met at midnight in one of the rooms up there and it was packed, wall-to-wall people? That's cool. How many, keep your hand up if you stayed and went from that and went on to YouTube for the first time. Okay, that's why the room is dark. So here's another one if you don't want to do YouTube. And what I meant by that was, let's get together again, because I really enjoy that. That's really fun when you bounce ideas off of each other and you share what you're doing, and we share what we're doing, what we're discovering. I think that's fun. I had a friend of mine, his name is Hunter Atwood, super great agent, really young guy. He got started at like 19 years old as an agent. Boy, I'm jealous. I wish I'd done that instead of being a cop at 19 years old, but I digress. He started using his iPhone to send videos out to people who are responding to his direct mail, responding to his Facebook leads, responding to his other marketing. And he found an 80% increase in the people that responded to his next call because he would send the video introducing himself before calling them. The cool thing about technology today is you can do this on a mass scale. You can have your CRM, if it's a really good one, send out a video link to somebody that says, and it's got a thumbnail of who you are, saying, I just want to introduce myself real quick because you filled out this form. And this breaks the ice and it starts to build that trust with them. And further, if you're not on YouTube at all, but you decide, let me make a series of engaging videos just for the people who have responded, then before you even get them on the phone, they're going to be marinating in how great you are and building that trust with you because they want to know who they're dealing with. So send them a video if you can still do that. Another idea, so this is our website. Here's our first call to action. And then we have a choose your own adventure way to go. Why? Because we got tired of answering the same questions and over again. One week, if we're getting 1,500 leads in during AEP, everybody's searching for everything on YouTube, and they're finding you and they're filling out a form. They want you to call them and you're getting all these leads in. What could you possibly do to weed out the people that you just can't help? I know this website's ugly, that's intentional. I don't want it to look like a corporate website. I don't want it to look stuffy. But let's just say they're on a Medicare supplement and they want to go to a different one. We had so many people that called in about the rate increase video and they're saying, how do I go from one Medicare supplement to another? Well, our 27 people in the office could have an hour-long conversation with them explaining how underwriting works, asking for all their health conditions, telling them what the rules are in their state, all the things. Or when they're already on the website because they came there and it already will answer that for them, hey, here's a video that explains what this process looks like. And they really appreciate that because you have to remember, people will only engage with you when they have a level of trust enough to reach out. The highest level of engagement, the highest risk to them is picking up the phone. They don't want to do that. So if you meet them where they are by giving them enough information where they can calm their fears and they'll say, yes, I'm ready and willing to engage with you now, and talking specifically about their problem, like right to their face about, you said that you were interested in changing your Medicare supplement plan. What does that look like? Well, I'm going to go over that for you right now so I can answer all your questions. And if it looks like a fit, great, we're happy to help you. So again, if you don't want to do YouTube at all, at least make their customer journey easy by answering their questions one time into a camera and you never have to do that again. Here's another idea that worked really well. It was kind of slow after AEP, so we did this dental campaign where we sent an email out, but we used video instead of just the email. What do I mean? We shot a video talking about dental plans, the good ones, the bad ones, what happens if you don't have dental plan. We shot the video, again, made AI, look at this guy, he's freaking out because he got this dental bill, like, is there any other solution? Well, yes, there is, and while this video only did like 17,000 views on YouTube, that wasn't the point. The point was to have some kind of asset I can deliver to a targeted audience and have them spend some time with me. We found, okay, so then I made this landing page. It's super, super simple. It's just a website, and I put a $9 domain on it, AmericanDentalCoverage.com. You can still see it, it's live. And they're like, oh, that URL, that website address sounds legit. It's talking about dental coverage. Why not? Email goes out to 12,000 people that we know are clients of ours that we know for a fact do not have dental insurance. It sends them to this landing page, and they can watch this video. Yes, we have the video hosted on YouTube, but we just wanted to deliver that strategically to the right person, and then they can book an appointment. The result was too fast. We sent out 12,000, 40% of them opened it, 81% increase in the next 2 weeks of dental sales. It's like free money. So if you think of a problem that your people have, I would create a video for that problem, determine who your audience is, if they're old prospects that you need to re-engage, or they're your current clients and you need to cross-sell something to them because maybe you hadn't done such a great job of doing that before. So you can make something like this and send it to them, and then you talk to the camera once. You don't have to have that conversation over and over and over again. Here are some resources for you. I'll give the slides to you. You can get this later. But the slides from today are at webinarwithchris.com/Omaha. TubeBuddy, the video to articles thing, and then gear that I recommend. And the gear is not important. You could have a Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra phone or an iPhone 6, and it's still better video quality than all the movie cameras in Hollywood were in the 1960s. It's still good enough to shoot 1080p resolution. It's the best out there. Oh, webinarwithchris.com is a place where I'm hosting a series of webinars where we just get in depth about marketing. Nothing's sold there, not gonna push anything on you. I just like talking about marketing, and I don't have any friends. So here's my prediction for the future, if you want to walk with me down this journey. I think this is where it's going. And again, in 2008, I was told I was crazy because you can't sell Medicare over the phone. And then everybody is still doing things in our industry, no offense, let me just not look at you so you don't get offended. People are still doing things in our industry that we were doing in 1960 and expecting a new result. I'm surprised all the time at the carriers that say, we only have 40% engagement on our e-app. We're still processing thousands of paper applications when we have this tool that automatically corrects our problems and gets things issued 100 times faster than paper. So if you'll go with me down this journey, we have to skip past e-apps, so let's assume you're doing those already, to this is where I think we're gonna go. Instead of having a lady come to your office and expecting that they're gonna do what's convenient for you, trust me, they don't want to do that. They also don't want you going to their house. Newsflash. As nice and charismatic as you can be, they just don't want you coming to the house. Let's think about another form of resistance. A lot of people have social anxiety. They show up in a meeting room and they're like, this is not for me. Or they don't even show up because they say, I'm not going to go to a room with a whole bunch of people that have that scary COVID. I'm not going to sit with public people. Whatever it is, can you meet them at where they are to make it super easy for them? I would argue the least resistance you can put in their path and build trust along the way and make it super easy for them to become a customer of yours, you're going to win. So here's my prediction, and somebody in this room is probably going to do this soon. No more home appointments, no more office appointments, and no more seminars in person, as successful as they are. And they will continue to be for a long time, but they're very labor intensive. Instead, you've got Sally here, who's got a decision to make about Medicare. She gingerly walks over to her desk and she sits down with her gingerly cup of coffee, and she's so happy because you decided to meet her where she is, one-on-one, but also one-to-many. And you host an online event where they can show up, ask their questions in real time, but you go through a systematic presentation just like you would do in a live seminar. COVID, as horrible as it was, did a lot of things for us in this industry. It made people really open themselves up to doing business by phone that were first resistant, to doing electronic applications where they were first resistant, and doing video calls with complete strangers to get information that they won't go in person to do. Seniors have a long memory. And if you can make the lowest amount of resistance available for them to make this journey, I guarantee you it will pay off. But you have to be prepared for that. You have to do the marketing that's going to invite people to an event. And just like you would do with a normal seminar, you prep this event and you make it a big, big hype thing. And then you can follow up with everybody individually. But you only have to do one to many, and you don't have to leave your office. So, a couple more notes for you. What works on video? Clarity over cleverness. Don't try to sound smart. Don't use industry jargon. Don't talk about AEP. Don't talk about CMS without any context. And Part D and all the things that we do on a daily basis, you really have to break it down to be simple. Speak like a human. Simple, clear, conversational. You're probably looking at a stack of mail and you're completely confused. What does it all mean? Today I'm going to explain that to you so you don't have to deal with those people who keep raiding your mailbox, that kind of thing. Most importantly, it's not about you. It's about them. So many agents are so entrenched in their own identity, and I've heard it so many times because we used to recruit agents. When they would call in, they'd find something online and they say, "You're on the cutting edge, I want to work with you." And every single voicemail they would leave would say the first same thing. Hope I'm not offending anybody. "Hi, my name is Roger, and I'm a licensed agent." Woo! I'm a licensed agent, and you should probably want my contract. Then they go on YouTube or something and they're like, "My name is Roger, and I'm a licensed agent. I've been in the business for blah, 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 blah." The first thing you should think of when you start talking is, what is in it for me? What's in it for that audience person? What is in it for that person that's sitting right there? Is it something that's relevant to them? Because, hate to break it to you, they don't give a flip who you are. They want to know, what can you do for them? I recommend talking 99% about what it is for them. What are their concerns? What are you going to do about it? How are you going to solve their problem? What makes you different? Who is it that you help? And then, what's your backstory? What makes you qualified? But not leading with, "Here I am, I'm certified, I'm licensed, I'm in your area." They just don't care. You've got to grab them with and keep it all about them. So I would suggest you shoot a video. You film a consistent video, which is once a week. This is do as I say, not as I do. Do it once a week is the best practice. Use your phone to start, or a simple webcam. There's a new webcam that came out. I've got it on that gear link there. It's called an Insta360. It does amazing quality. You'll never know it's a webcam. It looks like a glass lens camera. It's incredible. And it can change your background, not the way that Zoom does it, where you're all morphing all over the place, perfectly, and put you in the best office background. And it does the perfect audio and everything. It costs about $300. Or you can use your cell phone. Biggest tip I can give you is don't chase perfection, just put something out there. Because if you consistently put something out there, you can't help but make it better and better and better over time. But I would argue, leave the old ones there, not just for your own posterity. You can look back and say, "Gosh, look how bad I was when I first started." You can see how far you've come. But also, that may be the very video that gets somebody the answer that they need. And whether they become a client or not cannot be your ultimate motivation. Let me repeat that. Whether or not they become your client cannot be your driving motivation. It can't be to make a sale. That's called commission breath, and they can detect that a mile away, even through the screen. Your heart has to be, this person has a problem, I have a solution, let me walk them through explaining what the problem is and what a potential solution is. Oh, and by the way, if you need our help, we're at this phone number. And you're going to help far more people than actually become clients. So it's authority through helpfulness. The more value you give away for free with no expectation, the more authority you earn with them. Then you'll find really cool stories where people say, "I gave your video to my bridge club. I sent your video to all my friends and my church group. I sent your video all that." They won't do that if it's a video all about you. It has to be authentically about them. So you have to get your heart right before you even turn on the camera. So that's it. Does anybody have any questions? We have time. 12 minutes and 45 seconds. Yes, sir, in the middle.
How do you create volume to visitors to your website? What tips can you give?
How do I create what? I'm sorry?
More volume for people to come to this. How do you create more volume for people to come to your website?
How do I create volume? I create the best content that I can and leave the rest up to God and the algorithm. I don't promote things online to get more views. I don't pay for views or pay for ads and those kind of things. And I don't want to be glib. If you're getting started, you can absolutely do that. But if your content answers the right question and you do it consistently long enough, and far too many agents I've seen, they get started on YouTube, because I watch every video that all of you do on YouTube, I guarantee you. But they get started and then they quit when they don't get an answer, or they don't get a client by video number 3. It's the very few people, probably 2 in this room, that have stuck it out for a year. But here's what happens. Have you ever seen that little meme of the guy with the little pickaxe and he's almost going to break through, then he quits? That's what happens on YouTube all the time, especially in our space. They'll quit too early. So if you have no expectation of the outcome, You continue doing what you were doing before to make you successful, but you think, wait a minute, that's a video topic idea. That's exactly what we do. And usually it comes from a customer service problem or somebody saying, hey, did you hear what just happened to so-and-so hospital? Well, no, I didn't. Tell me more about that. In our weekly meetings, I try to get from our people, what are you hearing from the people? What are they concerned about? That's a video topic. So I would add it to what you're doing with no expectation of result, and after a period of time, you'll find that it's just like fishing. You can have one fishing line in the water, or you can have 500 of them out there with 500 videos that once you get discovered, it's like, oh my gosh, his success is overnight. No, it wasn't. It was all the work you did up to that point. But once they fall into your trap, they start watching another and another and another and another, and it all works together. My biggest encouragement is it doesn't matter where you start, just don't quit, because eventually it will pay off. And it just complements every other kind of marketing you're doing, even if it's not your number one priority. Anybody else have a question? Yes, sir. In the middle.
You make some videos that specifically would be for people who only have a cell phone to watch.
I'm already old enough to be hard of hearing. Could you speak really loud? I'm sorry.
Okay, is that better?
Yes, sir.
So do you make specific videos for the YouTube that are only for the people who have only a cell phone to look at the videos?
That's a great question. I looked at my analytics today, and 47% of the people that are watching my channel are now watching on a television. That creates a whole host of new opportunities by which I can put a QR code on there for my call to action, and I've started doing that. So they see something on the screen, and that's another thing that came from COVID that was actually good. How many times did you go to a restaurant and they're like, we're not printing menus. Here's a QR code, scan it. Now they're used to doing that. So you can use a QR code because half the people are watching on their television and it's full screen. And if you make it compelling, and again, that's at the very beginning of the video, you got the thumbnail that got them there, you've got the hook telling them what you're going to tell them, and then you say, stick around to the end, I'm going to have a resource for you, kind of like I'm doing here. So that if they're at the end of your presentation, they can download that valuable resource. And if you think, what can I make that's valuable to them that they can take away and use? Recently, I did one on how seniors can save money in a bunch of different areas. They can click on it and download it. So that's something that's, no, it's not just cell phone. It used to be, but now people are watching it on their smart TVs at home, which I think is a great thing because you're huge in their living room and they give you the same kind of credibility and trust and authority that they would if they watched a television news program with Dan Rather back when he was credible. Yes, sir.
Hey, Chris. One of the fears that my agents have about creating content is compliance. Mm-hmm. What would you say to them?
Stay compliant. Next question. No, I don't talk about any plans specifically. I try not to talk about carriers. It makes them very mad when I do. But I just want to be a resource, and I want the overarching message to be that I'm an advocate for them. But I'm never going to say, you know, the Humana PPO over here is better than the Aetna HMO that's going away and that kind of stuff, because I don't want to tread in that world. And you don't have to. Next question. Hi.
I have two questions. So number one is, do you offer any a training program for how to doing this?
In the red letters that you'll see in front of you on two massive screens, you'll see a thing that says webinarwithchris.com. And you're asking about how we can follow up, and yes. So we're going to go in depth on that, but it doesn't cost anything.
Okay. Number two is if some client they watch all the details of your content, do you think some clients they will just sign up with the Medicare Advantage or by themselves instead of going to you?
That's none of my business. I don't put an emotional trigger on whether or not I've given them enough information to be dangerous and go do it themselves. All I can do and focus, and I'm telling you this is really critically important. If the goal of your video is just to get a client, you'll fail, don't even start. If your goal is to educate people in general, and Gary Vaynerchuk started my whole video career with a book called Jab, 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 Right Hook. It's old now, but the concept is very much valid. That is, give, 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 with no expectation of result, and then a slight jab at the end. The right hook is, I can help you if you want. But it can't be like in your face all the time, or you just lose all the credibility. You don't even worry about starting. But I don't stay awake at night going, I wonder how many people went directly to Medicare. Don't care. Still the phones are ringing and people are happy and we're making money and we're helping people. Hi.
Hi. Is there any technology technology, I have a lot of videos that can be repurposed to like just have good content, but it needs to be refreshed, like the cost of Medicare, some changes to things. Do you have any?
Yeah, that's another very good use case for video. Is every year at our agency, we'll do an update for the next year. We'll do a video of what the costs are going to be on Medicare, things that we see changes from CMS and those kind of things. And then we get a little extra boost. And one of my friends, Danielle Kunkel in the business, if you've seen her on YouTube, she's fantastic. She does something that I've never done and should have done, which is gather the email address of all your people. She offers a course, like a 5-day, 7-day course about Medicare. If you want to come join our course, it's completely free. Give us your email. And what that does is it allows her to boost every video. And by boost, I don't mean pay. I mean launch that video by making a video, putting it out there, and then emailing your list and saying, there's this resource that's available. So we do that every year. We should do that more often. Yes, sir.
Big time for one last question after this.
Okay, great. Chris, you remember me, Scott?
I do.
This is Lenore, so...
Scott Mazinko, you were in New Jersey, now you're in Pennsylvania.
I know, it's a lot better over there anyway. I think they're going to go to birthday rights today. But number one, I wanted to thank you. Because I remember when we first started doing everything by phone, and I talked to you, and you said, well, you finally decided to start doing everything by phone. And in New Jersey, they didn't give us a chance. Like me and James are talking about it, they shut it all down. So I wanted to thank you from that, because it's been a long time since that first Medicare agent training, and that should be another resource for people too, because that's very valuable. But I just wanted to thank you for all the help that you've given us in the example you set, because it's priceless.
Thanks, Scott. I appreciate that. I'll leave with one thing. If you want to ask questions, I'll be around all week. But a stranger at 2 o'clock in the morning was looking for help. But because I took the time 6 months prior to record a video, she found not just information, but peace of mind. And that's not marketing. To me, that's a mission. And if you do it right, you show you care. You're not just concerned about a sale. You can build a business that helps people even while you sleep. Thanks, y'all, for listening. I appreciate it.